So this is the Walrus Audio Julia. I got this a couple months ago now. It's a very cool chorus pedal. I'm going to show you everything I know about it. So in terms of the controls, you got 4 on here. Well, I guess 5. You have the rate, you have the depth, and then you have the lag as well. And also you have the ability to switch between the sine wave and the triangle wave. And then you have your dry, and then your coarse, and then your vibrato on this as well. Of course, you got your inputs and outputs and your power adapter. This doesn't take a battery. It needs just 9-volt direct current like most other pedals, 100 mA, so any power supply is gonna work just fine. I always use my ISO brick as a point of comparison. You can use any one of these ports on here. As long as you don't use like 10 volt or something like that, you should be totally fine. I'm gonna show you where I put it in the signal chain too. So here's my board. I got my amplifier over there, hooked up with the Shure SM57 and the guitar. A guitar cable goes in down into the noise gate, and my reverb, and then my coarse, EQ, drive, compressor, tuner, envelope filter, and then my guitar. These 2 pedals, the delay, and the looper, and the volume box, those are in the effects loop. So I pretty much always aim for putting my coarse at the end. And that's a common way to set up your coarse pedal. Most people are gonna put it at the end of the chain. You could probably put it in your effects loop though too. You know, any time-based or modulation pedals will usually go pretty good in there. But yeah, time-based modulation stuff, best to put at the end. So the rate on this pedal, this controls the speed of the low frequency oscillator sweeps. In other words, it controls, if you put it to the left like this, it makes it so you can barely hear any oscillation. If you put it all the way to there, it makes a lot. The depth knob, that's actually a volume control for the low frequency oscillator itself. So if you crank it all the way, it's gonna make it sound much deeper and it's gonna be much louder, the actual chorus effect. And finally, you got the lag. What that does, it kind of adjusts like the seasickness sound of the chorus pedal, because what it does is it moves the delay time around. And in case you didn't know, the timing delay, that's how you get that like seasickness effect that characterizes the chorus sound. Additionally, the lag, you have to be careful with that. Like I usually have it at around half. Any more than that and you start to get crazy. For me, chorus is a subtle effect, as I just mentioned. I like to use it just a wee little bit, because frankly, I'm not a huge fan of chorus. It's not my favorite sound, but it definitely has some purposes, and you can definitely get some really cool sounds out of it if you use it sparingly, unless you really want like something that's wild. Additionally, you got your sine wave and you got your triangle wave. So this is in sine wave mode right now, and then this is in triangle. So sine wave, that's better for vibrato because it's more smooth. It's more of like this. And then the triangle, that's more abrupt because it's literally going like triangle waves. So that's better for like the coarse sound. And then this allows you to adjust. This is dry, coarse, vibrato. With the dry, it's kind of like a dry wet, this thing, except it goes from dry to sounding like coarse, then it goes to sounding like vibrato. Because in case you didn't know, a coarse pedal is just a vibrato pedal. The difference between the two is that it's just when you take one guitar signal, the processed one, you kind of like pitch shift it and change the delay center, and then you mix it with a dry signal. So there's two guitar tones at once, and that's how you get the sound. But a vibrato, there is no mixture of the two signals. It's just the pitch shifted sound or the delay sound. For the vibrato, I find that's best for like slow sections. So if you have like an R&B song or like some kind of hip hop, like for me, I like to make like hip hop type stuff sometimes. So I like to have like a vibrato. You could just have like 3 chords and you strum them and then you just have the vibrato on. You have the vibrato match the tempo of the song, and that's how you get like a really cool vibe. One thing I'll say about coarse too is that like I find it works best if you use it sparingly. So like if you really crank it up, like if you put the rate too high in conjunction with the depth, it's gonna sound like a mess. The rate and the depth, they have like a yin and yang opposite relationship in the sense that like if you turn the rate up, you should probably turn your depth down. But if you turn your depth up, then you should put your rate down. And I find that's the best way to get a solid sound out of the chorus pedal.